working closely together with a small team. It was really good to be able to get to know each member of the team, see what everyone's up to, and that made it easier to, I guess, integrate into the role. And also there wasn't really like a typical day. So depending on what event was coming up, so whether it's Leeds Creative Labs or a lawn event or a CFN event, there was a lot of organising, planning, creating communications for this. So I feel like there was a lot of variety of things that I could work on. And I wouldn't say it initially appealed to me, but being a member of like big important meetings, stuff to do with student opportunities, I think that took me out of my comfort zone and helped me understand like strategic planning and coordination that goes behind things like staff from different schools working together. And I also really enjoyed being able to work with central communications for a few months, where I was assisting the press office with different tasks and getting to experience a completely new environment. So there's a bunch of things that appealed to me during the internship. Being the communications assistant and studying media and communications, I really feel as though I've strengthened my communication skills. And it's something that's also surprised me during the internship was that it wasn't just communication in the workplace, but it was outside of the workplace in informal environments. I found that like interpersonal skills was so much stronger, and I felt more confident in different types of communication. Like I'd find myself writing like a paragraph to a friend that would be like similar to how I'd talk at work, not by any intention, but I felt more confident in different types of communication, including listening to other people. And I think these skills are like invaluable because they are transferable and relevant to just about every single job. And it was a priority for me to work on these skills because it ultimately leads to better relationships at work and at home. And you're able to work more efficiently as a team, which was really rewarding. There's two different things that I felt stood out to me. The first one being when the Cultural Institute collaborated with the union for BAME Creative Week. I was able to network with our cultural and creative partners, get them involved with the week, have them meet students, talk about opportunities. Especially having been a student in Leeds for several years, there wasn't really an event that I experienced like that was tailored for minority groups and to inspire them to get into the creative industries. And I actually hosted one of the panels, which was the broadcasting panel that involved a lot of great people who are in the industry. And even though it was terrifying, it really was a rewarding experience to do something that meant so much to me. And then another thing that I worked on as well, it seemed like a little bit of a, like it might not seem very exciting to some people, but I think the research that I did on the Ignite projects was something that I surprisingly enjoyed. I mean, that involved going through a spreadsheet that like went back years and years, and then I guess analysing that data and presenting that to the team and actually seeing the statistics and numbers of how that actually made a difference and an impact to students and academics who worked on these projects. And it really like opened my eyes to the work that the Cultural Institute actually do and how it's really meaningful to academics and supporting them with their research and interests. But yeah, I'd say those are two very different but highlights for me. After leaving the Cultural Institute, I immediately started a new internship with SAR UK, so South Asian Arts UK, as one of the digital interns. So having already made connections with SAR UK during my time at the CI, I was really able to like showcase the skills I'd gained over the year. Having an understanding of the cultural sector and the experience that I'd gained, it was extremely beneficial for me, especially in the interview process. And I think made a massive impact in me gaining this opportunity. So yeah, I've been experiencing what it's like to work in an arts organisation, which is very different from, I guess, the university environment. So I'd say there's 3 tips that I have for cultural organisations who want to work with students. The first one being, I guess, listen to them, support them, treat them as equally as you would with another colleague who isn't a student or an intern. And I think if you're open-minded, you can really build a great relationship of like mutual respect with them. And the second one, I was really lucky to have a great team at the CI who cared about my skills and career development. and they made it very clear to me that if there was anything I was particularly interested in or anything anybody was working on, to let them know and ask about it so I could get involved. So I had the opportunity to get involved with loads of different things, including like filming events, photographing events, and just making sure that I got the most out of the internship. And I think it's really important to establish personal goals or like find out any interests the students have so that you can give them more meaningful tasks to do. And then the final one would be, I guess, try and be a mentor for them. So what I mean by this is like you have to be welcoming, willing, and like patient to teach them new things. And it's you have to consider that they might not have any prior experience in the cultural sector or your organization. And sometimes I don't think this includes just the obvious stuff. It could be stuff like how to present yourself, interpersonal communication again, and I guess more stuff to do with like life skills that are transferable in both informal and formal environments. So the main thing I would say that I'm most concerned about is the lack of workforce diversity. So shown by the annual surveys and reports, the yearly reports, it's not acceptable. I think there tends to be little progress like year on year. And I think organizations need to make a more active effort to listen to BAME ethnic groups, as well as other minority groups that are severely underrepresented. Like, it's not just about recognizing there's a problem, but it's actually about putting change into action and doing something about it. So whether that's getting consultation on how to improve diversity within your organization, whether that's creating more accessible schemes for minority groups or investing money, you need to be hiring people from minority groups at all levels of the organization, not just to tick a box. I think it's absolutely crucial to arts and culture because it can only increase the opportunity for creativity. So artistic collaborations, and when you recognize talent from every single background, it enriches the arts. And in so many different areas of work and in different sectors, if you see yourself truly represented, you're more inspired and confident to pursue those interests. So I would say that's something that I feel very strongly about in the arts and cultural sector.